YouTube, I'm Crystal of Crystal Sews and Stuff here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. Welcome back to the channel. Hello to all of my new subscribers and welcome back to all the viewers today. So today I wanted to share with you two things that I made for the Sew Suit Up Challenge. And I made these items for my birthday that I celebrated yesterday. I turned 45 and I had a wonderful day. My dad sent me these beautiful flowers. I got a pineapple upside down cake from my father-in-law. And we went out to dinner, so I truly enjoyed my day. So anyway, let me share with you the two things that I made. So the first thing that I made was this jacket, and that is from Vogue 91. No, I'm sorry, the pants are from Vogue 9176. And these are these cute gold pants that I made in a faux gold leather from Mood. And I'll show you a closer up picture right here. And this was a very straightforward pattern. Hold on, let me get the pattern for you. So this is the pattern right here. It's a Vogue wardrobe pattern, and I believe it's discontinued, or it might, I believe it is discontinued. This pattern was released in 2016, so it's not super old, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find. And I'll leave links to the pattern below. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon or in the discontinued section on Vogue. But anyway, I decided to sew view E, these pants right here. And I sewed a size 16 according to my hip measurement. And the hip measurement, it doesn't say on here, but I believe the hip measurement was around 41. Well, it's suggested for size, for hip of size 40, and I'm about 41. And so I usually do a 16. I do really well usually with a size 16, but it came out super, super big on me. And it might be because of the fabric, because the suggested fabrics on here are crepe, linen blends, ponte knit, and wool flannel. And I use a stretch faux leather. So I think it maybe had a little bit too much stretch. But I took it in probably like 1.5 inches from the side seams as well as the inseam to make it fit me better, and the knees were a little bit baggy. But otherwise, after I took it in quite a bit, I think it fits me pretty good. It's still a little bit big, but I think they're comfortable. Some details about it. It does have front pleats, front darts right here, and then in the back there is an elastic waist back. So it's a very easy pattern, and the directions are very clear and simple. The only changes that I made again was taking it in quite a bit, and I lengthened it 2 inches, but I ended up taking them off, and it still ended up ankle length because I wanted them ankle length. So I made them I made them ankle length on me. So because in the picture it looks like hers are, I guess, a little bit above ankle length on the pattern. But anyway, I just thought the fabric would work a little bit better as far as the fit. I didn't think I would have to make that many adjustments, but I did, because this looks like she's wearing a ponte knit or some kind of stretch knit, but it still came out so huge on me. So I would advise people to make a muslin. I didn't make a muslin. So, but it still came out pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with the pants. I still might take them in a little bit more. I haven't decided yet if I want to keep the relaxed look or if I want to try even, a more fitted look. So again, that is Vogue 9176. And the next thing I made was this jacket. I love, 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 love this jacket. And I used Butterick 6328. And this one I believe is also out of print. But this one was again issued in 2016, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. So I decided to do view C. At first I was gonna do view B, the vest, because I really did not have a lot of the gold fabric. I only had 3 yards, and I really wanted to make the pants, but I also wanted to make it a top. So, I mean, a vest, so it could become, you know, more like a suit. But then I said, you know, I wonder, I said, no, I don't want to deal with binding the sleeves, because this pattern is an unlined pattern. And so I said, well, okay, then I'll just line it. And then I said, no, I think I have enough room. I have enough of the gold fabric to make it, to have sleeves. So I decided to do that. And so since I had already decided to line it, I said, I can make it double-sided. So I have been seeing so many people do really cute versions of reversible fabrics, reversible garments, and I have been thinking about doing it for a while. So I said, this is perfect because there are not a lot of pattern pieces. So the pattern pieces that there are is just the front cut twice, the collar, really is only 1 collar piece, and then the sleeves. So you have your front, back, collar, and sleeve. So it's just a super duper easy pattern. But I had to make a couple of changes to make it reversible. Okay, so this is the gold side, and it was very straightforward to do the gold side. So all I had to do is do the front, the back, and the collar. And the collar is just 1 piece. So very easy to cut out and no problem, just like the directions, as you know, as stated in the directions. But to do the other side, I had to do a lot of pattern matching to get everything to look right. So let me show you. So I wanted to make sure that the fronts lined up as well as the back lined up. So what I did was I added a 5/8 inch. I added 5/8 inches to the center back, so that I can have 2 pieces in the back. And so what I did was I cut out one side and then I mirrored it to the other side on the fabric. And this was a bit challenging because this fabric is not really cut on, it's not very balanced, because as you can tell that the gold diamonds kind of go at a slant, and then there's also this lighter black and white fabric, and then this other black and white pattern fabric. And so I had to make sure that all the fabrics lined up. So that was a little tricky, but I figured it out. I used I marked on my pattern pieces the different I don't know if you can see it well, but I used my color pencils to color in on the pattern design where everything lined up, so that I can remember which section of the patterns lined up where. So I did that for both the front and the back pieces in order to get everything to line up. And then again for the collar, I had to do the same thing because again the pattern wasn't balanced. So I decided again to go with the red, this red design to be the center point. And then I copied that as well on the collar to make that all match up. And another thing that I did was I made sure that the front pattern notches, like this little black and white, the darker black and white print, that it matched up here so that everything could kind of balance out on the sleeves as well. So I had to make sure the front notches matched the front shoulder sleeve notches. The only thing that couldn't match up perfectly was the side seams because of the pattern. So I decided to make sure that it was just kind of continuous with the different blocks. You have the lighter black and white block here, as well as the darker black and white section right here. So that's what I did on the side. So it still flows well with this section here, even though you can't get these giant, I couldn't get these giant the print of the giant print to match up exactly like I wanted it to. And then the same thing for the shoulder seams. I got those to match up as close as I could. So I had this little piece of the red pattern match up here on both sides of the shoulder seams as well. So anyway, that is how I did all of that. So to make it double-sided, what I did was I sewed the gold section first, and then I sewed the Ankara section second, and then I attached the collar. I put the collar piece in the middle and sewed it around that way, and then I sewed the side seams. Always something. But anyway, then I sewed the front together, right sides together, and then I did the sleeves. And I'll show you a quick clip of me doing the sleeves. It took me a couple times to figure this how to make the sleeves match up without hand sewing it, but I'll show you a quick clip of how I did that. And then I sewed the bottom hem all the way around, right sides together, and left a hole to turning, and then I slip stitched the bottom hole together. So very simple. I think this was a good practice try for me to do a reversible garment. So I think this is an easy pattern. I think next time I would add maybe pockets, but I really didn't have enough fabric to make pockets for the gold, and so I just said, well, I'm just not gonna put pockets. And I kind of like the way I did it. I would have to probably really have enough fabric to match this up perfectly to make pockets here. But I love the way it turned out. This is such a fun jacket, and I am loving it. So I just wanted to do a quick rundown of how I'm going to make this jacket reversible. So what I did was I sewed the jacket twice, once in this gold fabric. It's just a front, a back, and then two sleeves. And then for the wax print side, there's the back, and I had to split the back. I had to add a 5/8 seam allowance so that I could just to mirror the pieces to the back. So I did. So now I sewed the back pieces together, and then I sewed the front on the shoulder seams here as well as here, and then I sewed the collar. So I did one side with the wax print and one side with the gold, and I basted that to the collar. And okay, so now I have the back and the front right sides together at the neckline, and I have the collar piece sandwich in between, and it's basted to this back, the wax print. So now I'm just gonna sew that at 5/8 all the way around, being careful everything, nothing is shifting too much. Okay, so that came out pretty good. Everything's in there. One side this way, one side that way. Yay! So that worked. Now we got to do the front to back. Okay, I figured out the sleeve situation. It's a mess. But so anyway, you have the sleeve and you put it in like you want it to look when you're done. So I want it to look, have the lining inside. So I did the whole neckline. I sandwiched the collar neckline, and then I sewed front to back the back and the fronts together and turned it out. And so I have my collar looking the way I want it. And then I sewed one side of, well, I sewed both of the fronts, front to back, you know, right sides together. And then I turned that out the correct way that I wanted it. And then I put the sleeve in to the hole the correct way. And I figured out one side how to get the lining to be in. It's also a lining in to make it reversible. So I got one side. So let me show you what I did. So I put this other side into here, into the sleeve. So I put the Ankara print into the faux gold print, and then I lined up the seams and making sure nothing is twisted in here. And then I lined up the seams and then folded it in on the seam allowance. Folded it in this way. So I folded each side in. So the seam allowance is 5/8, which is about a thumb width. So 5/8 is about a thumb width right here. And then I lined it here like that. And then you go back in between. You can put a little pin in there, but I have to be real careful. This is the faux leather. But I use the 70 Microtex needle, and it's doing really well when I have made mistakes without putting giant holes into the gold leather fabric. So anyway, I could just pop a pin and make sure the seam allowances are folded down that way. So that was the part I was just not getting. So I have to do it, and I'm trying to pin it so this way. So pinning it so I can see it when I go back, when I pull it through. So when you pull it through, I'm going up from the bottom between the lining and the gold fab. So between it. So I'm all up between here. Between the lining fabric and the main fabric, or I mean, well, I guess they're both main because it's reversible. But anyway, you do that and you grab that and go pull it all the way through like that. And then you have where you need to be and where you need to pin everything. So then you go around the rest. So then you go ahead and pin or clip or whatever you're going to do. I'm just pin and try to stay in the seam allowance. Reduce the holes. And these are glass head pins, so they're really tiny too. So they don't leave big marks either. So I'm going to just go, and then you go around in a circle. Okay. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you're done. Still looks kind of wrong, But it's this is how it's supposed to look, like that, with the seam going kind of up and around like that. I had it the other way. So now I'm glad I figured it out. Let me show you. So you pull it out and then you kind of push it in like that. And there we go. It is finished on the other side like that. Okay, so that is my review of Butterick 6328 as well as Vogue 9176. And I hope you enjoyed my review. And if you, I do have some more pictures and a quick twirl on the deck. I took the pictures yesterday and then I did the twirl this morning, so I switched shoes out. So anyway, here it is. Two patterns, and the Sew Suit Up Challenge is a challenge put out by T of Crumpets Tea and Sewing, and that challenge is going until the end of the month, January 31st, 2020. And I'll leave a link to T's channel below, and so you can get more information about the challenge. And it's hosted together with Andrea Naturally on Instagram. So I hope you guys get a chance to participate. I really love this suit and how it came out, and I'm grateful for the inspiration to make a birthday suit instead of a dress, because I usually make a dress, but I'm glad I decided to switch it up with this suit. It was a good opportunity for me to do something different. So I hope you guys can participate. I'm loving seeing everybody's suits online, and you all take care and have a blessed weekend. Take care. Bye.